I was undergeared for a lot of these. So my Fire Lens tier, I had my helm and my shoulders, maybe? I don't remember. It was like something, you know, that was decently the same stats, like haste mastery. So one of them had the mana gem meta, and one of them had like the crit gem meta, and then like I also had a few pieces of gear that didn't have spirit on it. Like I had both belts and, you know, my trinkets. Like I had a Jaws of Defeat. Actually, I still have all the trinkets I was using. When I was like first doing this, I never had a Heart of the Unliving. This was the last thing I got. I didn't even get a normal mode or raid finder version of the Heart of the Living. I just had this. So I got the Windward Heart first in our group, and that was about like half. Like we'd already killed Madness by the time. Or no, I got this right before we killed Madness. I didn't have this when we did our first Spine kill, but I did have it for our first Madness kill. But otherwise, the trinkets where I was rolling around with is I had Jaws of Defeat. I also had Dark Moon Card Tsunami. Because I mean, Spirit, like it was still good in this like relevant tier. Dark Moon Card Tsunami was, and I also had the Intellect trinket that has a chance to proc a heal from Fire Lens. So that's like what I was rolling around with trinket wise. And I also had the Avengers of Hydra trinket that you can get from Rep, and I had that Reforged. I had one Reforged to just full crit, like just normal as it was, and I had another one in my bag, so it was Reforged to Spirit. And I also had the Spirit version of that was fully Reforged to Spirit, and I would like juggle all my trinkets accordingly. Eventually I also did the same thing with my gloves. I had the normal mode version of my tier, and then I had the normal mode version of Shadow. And, like the Shadow was reforged away from Spirit. The holy version, like the healing gloves, were reforged to Spirit. Yay, I got the buff. You kind of just have to know where the yellow spawn. Like if you're first on this platform, you just have to know like the yellow's gonna spawn here. This is a fight you kind of want to keep pyramiding on cooldown. I'm also weapon twisting. The weapon I have now is the one that I use for spread out healing. I'm actually just gonna proc Rapture because I want to keep my mana up early, and my tank has so many cooldowns for this first one that he'll live. Because this is a platform you have Dream. Also, I didn't demonstrate this just now, but when you do have your Dream, try to use it. Like if you're the one that gets that Parasite debuff and you have to run into this yellow circle, press your Dream, run into the yellow circle. So, like Midvane right now should be using his Dream. Weapon twist your AoE healing. Try to get your Rapture proc. I kind of like stagger step my Rapture just then because I saw that my int procs were both up. So I just tried to prog with the prayer healing. That's what I was thinking there. You know, honestly, like I'm trying to proc these int procs and get a bigger Rapture. It might be like more mana spent to like cast a prayer of healing there, but you also got to think like, oh, even if he is casting like his Prayer of Healing in order to proc like one of these Intellect procs, the Divine Ages portion of Prayer Healing on this fight, since there's constant damage going out, is going to be fully consumed. So it wasn't like a complete waste, but maybe if there wasn't like extra damage going out, I wouldn't have done that. I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked at the numbers. It's not something you have to think about too much. At my gear levels anyway. Just throwing renews on people who are probably need the healing, just to keep my trinket up and running. And that's just like this trinket will get my mana bar reset. I have it in proc right now, but my mana bar is like sitting pretty good. It's at full going into these platforms. Try to get a precast. Like this actually matters now, precasting on my tanks. So that's what I was thinking just now. Okay, the reason I'm like going a little silly here with my with like my AoE heals on people is because I proc my engineering tinker at the wrong time, basically. This is so stupid. Look, am I seriously next to that hunter? No, I'm not. Probably should have cast Penance on Sish. Get away from Twisted. It likes me tonight. Since we were so quick to kill that thing, our tanks are actually doing something pretty smart here. Or one of our tanks is, because usually it's this tank, Sish, that takes the bloods there that put a stacking shadow debuff. My paladin tank took like half of the bloods onto himself and was also stacking the buff up on himself. His split damage there is actually a bit easier to heal. For me anyway. I'm actually doing pretty piss timing with Rapture, but that's okay. I don't care this content and it's like super nerfed. But yeah, normally if I was like really concentrating I would have better Rapture uptime. And the way I'm measuring Rapture right now is I'm looking at this add-on off to the side. It's called Angela's Rapture. Usually I barrier here. I would have barriered her anyway if like I didn't think this was gonna be like if I didn't know that this was gonna be like super easy to heal, I probably would have barriered. But one of my druids Tranquility there instead. I barrier there because I need to get the barrier down for the bolt explosion. So you don't want to like use it on this platform. This is usually where our Shaman Spirit links is this platform. Then it's usually like depending on our DPS up again for the end or for the fourth platform. But recently it hasn't been that way. Man, stuff likes me. Look at this. How many times have I been picked for this? This is silly. It's like the third time I've been picked for that. Well. This is also the platform where I need to paint up my my paladin. Rigoletto, mid-main, nature, all you're on the line. Get a precast off there, get prayer healing, or not prayer healing, but paints up on the target. It's like my job. Pressing fade now because I don't want to take aggro from these things. I should have probably waited to press it because I still got aggro from because I pressed it too early. But you know what I was working on. Really sucks being a healer without a threat drop too. I've been playing a lot of my druid recently. And I miss it, I'll just say that. This is a fight that you do want to keep curve ending bouncing around. I think on one of these last couple weeks that I was doing this, I found out like you can actually like get two Archangels off in this portion, like I can get it off here and then at the end. I'm not going to do that again this week because I just really want to make sure that Archangel's up for the end of this platform. That's why I'm not doing it. That, it's kind of like working out in my favor because look at this, both my end procs are down. People are taking hefty damage. And Archangel's up for all of it. Try to get one more Rapture proc before the end of this platform. DPS is a little slow, it's usually dead by now, but that's okay. I'm gonna switch to inner arm, or I kind of switched to inner will on that after the tentacle like dropped a bit, or after the tentacle drop. I'm switching back to inner fire again because I need that reduced damage taken, or else I'll die when it lays down on me on this platform. Yeah, stand exactly on the blue. On the blue. You're almost next to it. You're good, man. Trying to blow it up. Help DPS this parasite down. Yep, went under the barrier.
Beware. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That went rather smoothly. Uh-oh! Switch back to your other weapon, get some Archangel stacks up in his ult. Keep prayer mending bouncing. This is the fight to keep prayer mending bouncing. This is the overall DPS. Rapture proc here. By the way, I haven't used like a single mana cooldown yet. I haven't used Shadow Fiend, nor have I used my Hymn of Hope. Hymn of Joke. I'm gonna get an extra tick out of having my power infusion up, so I'm going to Divine Him now and get that extra tick off with it. I wasn't trying to line it up with my Druid's Tranquility, but you know, the fact that it did is kind of cool. Alright, I have no intellect procs, so I'm still gonna reset the bar because I see one of my healers used Innervate, so I'm gonna send my Shadow Critter into it and use Hymn of Hope anyway to try to get them a little bit bigger mana pool while they're doing their Innervate, because Innervate gets like more mana back. So that's why I did Hymn of Joke just now.
5, 4,
Ghost press stream.
3, 2, 1.
Rigoletto in mid. I just used Bubble. I was trying to get a Borrowed Time haste proc off with that last penance, but I misjudged the penance timing, so that's me screwing up just now. Like, you know, like I was trying to get Bubble into a penance, into a prayer mending, like I was trying to do that combo, but my penance just had a little bit more time left on it. I'm just helping with DPS here, because, like, you know, healing's no joke. So. I'm going to put the barrier down into where the group is running, so they can get the increased healing bonus on it, and they'll take the reduced damage from the running. Twisted in mid, Rig.
3, 2, 1.
Demon, Ariella, and Atriella. Oh, Ariella didn't do as well.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
interrupt the hench skills. Okay, so mana's a little tight because we just lost a healer, so what I'm doing is I switch to the Heart Song weapon. I'm trying to manage Rapture, kind of like using inefficient, or I'm using really efficient heals because I'm trying to get Rapture for every mana. Yeah, that's what it looks like when I was running on fumes. What I should have done is flip to my Inner Will stance, but I don't know. I think I pressed the button, but it was like overlapping another global cooldown, so it didn't actually switch to my Inner Will. But I mean, ego was going on there. I was managing my mana because I was like running on fumes, which is different than normal. In hindsight, what could have saved my mana there is I put my Power Infusion on my Warlock, thinking that that was a smooth move when one of the AoE things came out, so he could AoE him faster, and because he was Drain Souling the boss, so it would give him like a faster Drain Soul tick on them. Probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just like saved it for myself, but whatever.
Nobody smoking blunts, bitches rolling weed, my niggas fucked up, Niggas probably never even seen this much weed. Oh, it's a party. Quarter pound of that sour, that's 4 days on tour. Sleeping on how we.
Anyone have any questions? I do have this like pulled up so I can see the chat room, you know, aside from just in-game chat, Sombras. Like, if people want to post in the chat room, that's totally cool. I'll answer stuff now. Like, I'm paying attention with my full attention span.
They be hella love when they gang up in the building. You gon' smell that sour smoke. I could get that shit from my backyard, go pick it out myself. Yellow light, let me slow it down.
I always get turned around in this freaking place.
28 ain't enough, you need more. All the weed over here, that's one weed jar. When them planes get to flying, niggas wanna part. Smoking crash with the plane, a million air. I got a whole lot of O's, and I'm rolling up for anyone here that knows me. Everybody smoking, yeah. Nico signing in. It's a party. It's a party at 8:40. It's a party. Everybody smoking papers, nobody smoking blunts. Bitches rolling weed, and my niggas fucked up. Future world, tell it again. It's a party.
That depends, Sombras. Stance dancing is okay when you have the time to do it. Just always keep in mind that when you're doing this inner will, inner fire dancing, like there is a finite amount of globals that you have in a fight, and if you're just pushing it for the first time and you're at the appropriate gear levels, it's actually like a loss in healing per second because you're like dancing around. What I would advise, just as a general for everybody, is kind of like okay, so on some fights like Ultra, you're gonna want to be an inner fire the whole time, and then there are some fights like Blackhorn, I would suggest you would want to be an inner will the whole time. If you're just kind of approaching it, you don't really know what to do, start like in inner fire, and then when you reach like maybe 50% mana, depending on like how many cooldowns you used or how long the fight is, like, you know, if the fight's still gonna be for a while, you should probably switch to inner will to try to like ensure that you don't run out of mana too soon. So that's, but I mean, keep in mind, like, there's some other decisions going on here. I had to glyph inner fire, like one of these, it was my smite, yeah, it was my smite glyph. This was glyphed inner fire. Like, it's usually a PvP glyph, but we did that because, like, I needed to survive those things on Madness, like that tentacle when it lays down on the raid. That particular attack would like one-shot me if I had lost like 5% of my health because I'm a stupid clothy that can't like live through anything. So I had to be an inner fire for that. Although this is a really long fight, so like that's counterintuitive. You think, oh, I need to be an inner will the whole time because it's a long fight. So yeah, that's something to think about mana-wise. Like, you really need to like read the situation. It's gonna get kind of like more straightforward in the next expansion. In the next expansion, they're changing fire from flat spell power bonus to like a spell power percentage bonus. So that's pretty cool. Continuing the inner will, inner fire, something I just thought of. At this point, since inner fire doesn't give a percentage of spell power, it just gives a flat spell power bonus. Inner will theoretically will scale better. Like, the more gear you have, the better inner will be. But also think of it this way: as a disciplined priest, the more gear you have, mana becomes like a total joke. Like, keeping your mana up is really easy after a certain point of time. So even though inner will would be the thing that scales better, you could probably just sit and fire like the whole time, like I do. I mean, I sit and fire for most of these. I mean, it's only when I'm doing some really heavy things that are going to tank my mana with instants, like bubble spam and dispel spam. That's pretty much the only times I switch into it. So next week, do any of you guys have alts that you want to see me talk about? Because I can talk about anything. Maybe next week I can talk about bag space. That's something I've kind of been neglecting this whole time. Because, yeah, well, I mean, eventually, all these Chaos Orbs that I'm sort of like stacking up, I'm gonna eventually turn those all into bags, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It's frustrating. I thought void storage was going to be a lot bigger than it was. My void storage is totally packed full of nothing but tier gear and capes, and my bank is still like totally full. Like my bank is, here, I'll show you. Love these engineering boots. I love being an engineer. I should have done this way sooner. I don't know why I waited so long. I guess I waited. I know why I waited so long. I waited forever because I was afraid that I would lose my I would lose my enchants that I had farmed that were like really rare once upon a time, but sometime after Firelands came out, they made pretty much all rare enchants like super easy to get, and the ones that were unobtainable, they put them back in the game. Cool. Next week I'll start by talking about Holy Pallies. That's something I wanted to do because I thought I'd be doing my alt run. By the way, this is my bank. I mean, this gear set that isn't in my transmog, or that's not in my void storage, is my PvP gear. That's why it's like all sitting here. But, yep. Things that would clear it out if I finally finished up my Dark Iron rep grind. Another to-do list achievement. Finish Dark Iron crap. Get out of Molten Core finally. I don't know. So yeah, my bags are always like super this full. I mean, pretty much like the stuff that isn't soulbound and can just be like traded around willy-nilly, I started dumping off on all my alt characters, which their bags are now really full because, you know, they're my alt characters, so they don't have like the best of best bags like my main does, and they haven't bought out all of their bank slots. So yeah, everything's full. I even have a bank now, an alt guild, for the purposes of having a bank. It's like, I just don't have enough space in this game. But okay, yeah, I'll talk about Holy Paladins next week, if that's what you want to see. Which is kind of good, because I've been playing mine a bit. Anyway, everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week. The end.